Earlier this week, we looked at the hitters that made either a good or bad impression with their new team. Today, let's do that for the pitchers. Through the end of April, let's look at the stats for the starters and relievers. Just a note for this list, I'm only looking at the pitchers with at least 8 innings. First, the bad. We'll start with Steven Matz of the Cardinals. 4 starts, a 2-1 record, and 11.7 K per 9 rate sounds good, but 12 runs over 17 and 2/3 innings makes for a 6.11 ERA. His middle 2 starts were good, 1 run over 10 and 2/3 innings, but the first one and the last one were terrible. 11 runs over 7 innings. Number 9 is Aaron Sanchez of the Nationals. He really hasn't been good since 2016, so I'm not sure what the Nats were expecting. Over his first 2 starts, he's got a total of 9 and 1/3 innings, giving up 4 in the first and 3 in the second. Good for a 6.75 ERA. He did get a win in the second start, and it was close to a quality start. 3 runs over 5 innings. Number 8 is Marcus Stroman of the Cubs. I like this signing, but it hasn't been great so far. He posted a 3.02 ERA with the Mets last year, signs on with the Cubs, and through 4 starts, he's 0-3 with a 6.98 ERA. His first and last starts were a total of 11 innings and 3 earned runs, but those middle 2 were rough. 12 earned over 8 and 1/3. Number 7 is Matt Brash of the Mariners. After this rookie got into the 6th, only giving up 2 runs in his first 2 starts, and even getting into the 5th, giving up 3 in the next one. Giving up 6 over 2 innings in Miami brought his season ERA up to 6.88. Number 6 is Archie Bradley of the Angels. The first reliever on this list has pitched in 8 games, 8 and 2/3 innings, giving up 7 runs for a 7.27 ERA. 3 of those 8 outings he would like to forget, the worst being 3 runs given up to the Orioles and only getting 1 man out. Number 5 is Aaron Brooks of the Cardinals. Seeing his first action since 2019, he's given up runs in 4 of his 5 outings, 2 of those being 3 spots. That's 8 earned runs over 9 1/3 innings, a 7.71 ERA. Number 4 is Mark Leiter Jr. of the Cubs. Brooks hadn't seen big league action since 2019, but Leiter had been out of the majors since 2018. His first start in Colorado was a disaster. 7 runs in 3+ innings, then 2 more over 4 innings, but he's scoreless over his last 3 innings, so he's doing damage control. His ERA stands at 7.84 by the end of the month. Number 3 is Aaron Fletcher on the Pirates. He had an ERA over 12 in the last 2 years with Seattle, and it hasn't been so great moving over to Pittsburgh. He's given up a run in half of his 8 outings, including a 4 spot in St. Louis and a 3 spot against Milwaukee, good for a 9.35 ERA. Number 2 is Zach Thompson on the Pirates. He came over from Miami, where he had a 3.24 ERA over 75 innings. He came to the Pirates, and in April, he started 4 games, going 0-3 with a 10.05 ERA. None of his starts have been any good. He got an out in the 5th inning once, and gave up at least 4 runs in 3 of those 4 starts. Number 1 is Adam Oller of the A's. This rookie has had a rough 3 starts. His first one going 1 1/3, giving up 5, and giving up 7 more runs in 8 1/3 in his next 2. He's bringing his ERA down, but by the end of April, it stands at 11.17. Now let's get to the good ones. For these, I'm only going to look at starters with 15+ innings and relievers with 8+. First, the relievers. Number 10 is Marco Lanson of the Diamondbacks. He always seems to pitch for a contender, but this offseason he signed with Arizona. He has been pinned with 2 losses, but he's only given up 1 earned run in 8 innings, earning 4 saves and sporting a 1.13 ERA. Number 9 is Corey Knebel of the Phillies. He got healthy with the Dodgers last year, signed with Philly to be their closer, and so far, so good. He's given up 1 earned run, that being in a tie game that pinned him with a loss. But that's it, and he's got a nice 0.96 ERA to go along with 4 saves. Number 8 is Hector Neris of the Astros. He's been a solid arm for the Phillies over the years, but he's come out great for Houston. He was pinned with a loss for his 1 earned run, given up over 10 1/3 innings, 10 strikeouts versus 1 walk, scattering 6 hits, earning 3 holds. The Astros have to be happy with what they're seeing so far. Number 7 is Danny Jimenez of the A's. He had a cup of coffee with the Giants last year. Then he crossed the bay, and he's been excellent so far. He's given up 0 earned runs over 9 innings, though his whip is at 1.111, giving up 2 hits in 3 of his outings. One of those led to a loss on an unearned run. He's also only walked 2 to his 9 strikeouts. Number 6 is Kenley Jansen of the Braves. He's got an ERA of 3, the highest on this list, but all of that came from his first outing. He gave up 3 runs to the Reds, but he held on for the win. Since then, 8 innings, 6 saves, 0 runs, 0 hits, 1 walk, 11 strikeouts. He has rebounded nicely, but the guys ahead of him haven't had that one disaster of an outing. Number 5 is Aaron Loup of the Angels. He was outstanding with the Mets last year, posting an ERA under 1 in 56 2/3 innings. In 10 2/3 innings this year, he's given up 1 earned run, striking out 10 to his 2 walks. He's been a reliable, late-inning, high-leverage guy, notching 6 holds through April. Number 4 is Jacob Junis of the Giants. He spent 5 seasons with the Royals and never posted an ERA under 4.3. He goes to the Giants, and he's come in for long relief twice, pitching 5 innings of scoreless ball in each one. 1 walk, 10 strikeouts, scattering 7 hits. He's in a unique role right now, but he's been killing it over those 10 innings. Number 3 is David Robertson of the Cubs. He seems to have been around forever, playing for the Yankees for a decade and hopping around the last few years. He wasn't all that great for Philly or Tampa, but so far with the Cubs he's been really strong. 8 games, 8 2/3 innings, 1 hit, 0 runs. He has walked 4 along with 11 strikeouts, and he's picked up 4 saves. Number 2 is Tanner Banks of the White Sox. This 30-year-old rookie has pitched the most scoreless innings through the end of April at 12 2/3. His command hasn't been quite as good with 5 walks and 9 strikeouts, going along with 5 hits. He's a middle relief arm, and he's unblemished through the first month of the season. Number 1 is Taylor Rogers of the Padres. The first-time All-Star in 2021 had a really nice run with the Twins, and he was dealt to the Padres right before the season for Chris Paddock. He's been as close to perfect as you can get. 8 2/3 innings over 9 games, 0 runs, 4 hits, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, and picked up 8 saves along the way. The Padres wanted a reliable closer, and they got one in Taylor Rogers. Now for the starters. Number 10 is Zack Greinke. He just re-signed with his original team, and he's been solid in his age 38 season. Each of his first 4 starts have gone between 5 and 6 innings, giving up no more than 3 runs in any of them. He's only struck out 6 batters over those 22 innings, but he's got a 2.86 ERA going, so that's not bad. Number 9 is Tyler Anderson of the Dodgers. This is the only one on this list that hasn't started every game he's been in. Ever since 2016, his ERA has been in the mid-4s every year, and after coming out of the pen for some long relief in his first 2 games, he's been given the ball to start in his last 2 games. He's already picked up 2 wins, going between 4 and 5 innings each time, giving up 1 or 2 runs, 5 walks to 15 strikeouts in 17 2/3 innings. That adds up to a 2.55 ERA as he tries to nail down a spot in that rotation. Number 8 is Kevin Gausman of the Blue Jays. He finally realized his potential last year with the Giants, going 14-6 with a 2.81 ERA, finishing 6th in the Cy Young voting. He signs with Toronto in a hitter-friendly park, and after 2 home starts, plus 1 in the Bronx and 1 in Fenway, he's 1-1 with a 2.19 ERA. He hasn't walked a single batter, striking out 31 in 24 2/3 innings. If the Jays were hoping to recreate the 2021 Gausman, it seems like they got it. Number 7 is Chris Bassitt of the Mets. After an all-star season with Oakland, and back-to-back years getting Cy Young votes, the A's sent him to New York, and he's been worth it. He was masterful over his first 2 starts, 1 run over 12 innings, had 1 bad game against the Giants where he gave up 5 runs over 6 innings, then came back in St. Louis and shut them out over 6 innings. 3 out of 4 ain't bad, and he's given the Mets 6 innings in every one of his starts, sitting on a 2.25 ERA. Number 6 is Noah Syndergaard of the Angels. Nobody knew how Thor would come out after his surgery, and through his first 3 starts, he's been rock solid. He's either gotten to the 6 or finished 6 in every one, got the win in 2 of those, and given up no more than 2 runs each time. He's got a 2.12 ERA and a stellar whip of 0.824. Number 5 is Mackenzie Gore of the Padres. This rookie has started 3 games, winning 2 of them, going at least 5 innings in each, 6 walks to 20 strikeouts, only 1 home run in 15 1/3 innings, and he's starting his career with a 1.76 ERA over his first month. Can't complain about that. Number 4 is Chad Kuhl of the Rockies. I've watched him get knocked around for years in Pittsburgh. Then he comes to the pitcher's dungeon of Colorado, starts 4 games, and wins 3 of them. He only yielded 2 runs over his first 3 starts, then gave up 3 runs in 7 1/3 innings at home against the Reds, but that quality start still got him a win. He's rocking an 8.45 whip, 7 walks against 17 strikeouts. We'll see how he fares in a full season at Coors. Number 3 is Max Scherzer of the Mets. The Hall of Famer knows how to live up to expectations and a big contract. The Mets got him to win a World Series, and so far he's been money. 4 starts, 3 wins. The one he didn't win, he only pitched 7 scoreless innings, giving up only 2 hits. He's got a 7.60 whip, 33 strikeouts to 8 walks, 5 runs over 25 innings, good for a 1.80 ERA, just filthy good. Number 2 is Michael Wacha of the Red Sox. I said the Red Sox needed starting pitching more than anything, and their free agent pickups weren't good enough. Wacha is looking to prove me wrong. His career started with a bang. He was very good between 2013 and 2015. Then his ERA ballooned to 4.62 from 2016 to 2021. He signed with Boston, and over his first month, everything is clicking. 4 starts, 2 wins, 4 runs over 20 1/3 innings, all that adding up to a 1.77 ERA. He went to Toronto in his last start of April, silencing their bats to the tune of 1 run over 6 innings. Maybe Wacha is the missing piece in their rotation they needed. Number 1 is Carlos Rodon of the Giants. He had a limited resume coming into 2021, and he was awesome. 24 starts, a 2.37 ERA, and a 1.81 ERA+. That earned him an All-Star bid and 5th place in the Cy Young. He comes to the Giants, and through 4 starts, he has lived up to the billing. 3-0 record between 5 and 7 inning starts, giving up single runs in 3 of those outings. 8 walks to 38 strikeouts. That first outing against Miami being the most impressive, ending the game with 12 strikeouts. This is all good for a 1.17 ERA, and he's a good reason the Giants ended the month in first place. That's it for the best and worst first impressions for the pitchers. If you have any thoughts on these players, or if there are any others that should have been considered, let me know in the comments below. Before you go, don't forget to drop a like and give me a sub for more content just like this. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.